you know, nobody likes losing, you know what I mean? So I know it should hurt when we lose. We all feel shitty. So, you know, we want to.
The Las Vegas Raiders have gone 0-3, and Josh McDaniels is definitely on the hot seat now. This is an interesting thing from Paul Gutierrez of ESPN after the game. Before Josh McDaniels took to the podium to do the press conference, he had a private conversation with Mark Davis, a lengthy closed-door meeting, other people not allowed to see what's happening, one-on-one conversation. This is pretty intense because, yes, we know Josh McDaniels is teaching a new scheme to his players, but the fact that Mark Davis put so much money down this offseason shows that the Raiders had high expectations for this year, next year especially, but also this year. So this cannot be any kind of rebuild, and what it looks like so far with this offense, it does look like a form of a rebuild. It looks like the players don't know the scheme that well. You heard Derek Carr talk about how they need to improve in practice, and you've seen Waller with Carr out of sync and a lot of uncharacteristic things happening with the Raiders. The defense, yes, did poorly in this game in the beginning, but were able to turn things around and actually hold the Titans to 0 points in the second half. So this game falls on the offense, and it has fans wondering, we had something great last year. We had something building. We did not have a rebuild last year. We had a head coach, John Gruden, who was in his 4th year with the team, and they were clicking and locking and loading. The Raiders were 3-0 last year, first place in the division, and right now we're 0-3 in last place in the division. So it has fans wondering, man, I wish that hit job never happened, because maybe we would have something special going on. And this is on Josh McDaniels. He's the leader of this team, and he's the guy who decided to come to this team, invest a lot of money in the offseason, set the high expectations, and he also believed he'd be able to teach Derek Carr his scheme quickly enough to compete for a championship this year, next year, and that hasn't been the case. Had Josh McDaniels, done something and maybe swallowed his pride a little more and decided, hey, maybe I should roll with a scheme that's similar to what the Raiders have done recently, something a little more West Coast, then you can cut him some slack and say, okay, he's playing to the current players' strengths and trying to help them out right now so they can win in the immediate, but that hasn't happened. They're trying to start fresh, do this whole new scheme. He brought some Patriots players over to teach the scheme, and quite frankly, it hasn't worked out. Devontae Adams, yes, he had a touchdown in the first 2 games, but you didn't really notice the guy at all this game. This game had to be the Mac Hollins show. And with John Gruden not being out of the NFL because of the hit job, it really is putting Raiders fans, in an unfortunate spot, because now are the Raiders going to have to deal with some sort of other rebuild when really the team was on the ascendant. Think about in 2020, the Raiders went 1-for-1 with the Kansas City Chiefs, and the second time they played them, they almost beat the Chiefs. It was a close matchup, but in 2021, without Gruden, John Gruden never had the opportunity to play against the Chiefs in 2021. The Raiders got swept by him. So there was something about Gruden and what he was building with this team that seemed like we were heading in the right direction, and now the Raiders are in last place. They have the Broncos next week, and then you have the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll see what Josh McDaniels can do. Quite frankly, Raiders fans hate the Chiefs so much that if McDaniels loses every single game but still beats the Chiefs, the fans might even have opened their heart up to McDaniels. But Mark Davis seems like the door is closing. The clock is ticking. The Tennessee Titans were 0-2. This is a team you should beat. Mark Davis having this private conversation, knowing that beat reporters are going to talk about this, knowing that people are going to say, hey, what's going on, yada, yada. Is it possible that Josh McDaniel and Dave Ziegler's time with the Raiders is short? We don't know the contract situation. We do not know how long they've been signed to. There's no information online you could find out about the length of McDaniel's contract. It could be a short stint. It could be a short stint with the Raiders, especially if it was only a 2 or 3 year deal with that and not that much a year. Mark Davis has tons of cash now. Raiders have risen in value. This guy could cut his losses and maybe dump off Josh McDaniels if he's not cutting it. And he wouldn't be having this private meeting unless something is changing. If he's having this meeting with Josh McDaniels, something is changing, whether it's a coordinator, whether it's Josh McDaniels, whether it's a player, somebody getting benched, who knows? But pretty sure one-on-one McDaniels probably is on McDaniels. This guy has not performed well, to say the least. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Should Josh McDaniels be fired by Mark Davis? Should he pull the plug right now, or should he give him some time? Let me know. My name is WiFiWillie. Like this video if you haven't already, and subscribe to the Raiders Rundown for more content. Peace out, and I hope you have a good one.